Yo, what's going on? This is the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, and you're listening to the Sports Jedi Network. You get me?
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Miles Bourne. I just wanted to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me.
Hey guys, this is Elena Black, and you are watching Sports Jedi Network.
This is AJ Francis, and you're with Sports Jedi Network.
AEW, as ladies and gentlemen, NXT is off and running and off the air, and we are live here. As I saw the Dynamite Bros, and I wanted to say what's up to our guys. Tomorrow night they'll be on live. NXT's off the air, and it got a lot of confusing because I'm more confused like anything else. So many triple threats, fatal four ways, yada yada. It kind of feels like all elite wrestling. But what's going on, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like I just saw you a couple hours ago. Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm confused because I think that we saw a lot of this coming. But it did feel contrived. It didn't feel organic. And that to me is a problem because NXT's rarely felt forced to me. I mean, I understand they've got to protect the wrestlers sometimes and sometimes limit their speaking and whatever it was, but I don't know. Some of it felt artificial. That said, I enjoyed a good deal of the show. Just the main story, you know, it's been forced and rushed. I mean, you know, both of those things, and neither of those is great, but one or the other is acceptable. But both, you know, not good. Not great by Sean.
No, I'm ready to listen to break in all that stuff here. Yeah, tonight's show, I felt like it just felt like you just finished saying. It's like we feel it's rushed. It feels like it was all over the place. You know, stipulations here, stipulation that didn't make sense. Now we have more confusion when it comes to some titles that we're going to talk about. You know, so we got a lot of different things here. I would love to hear your perspective, my perspective. And yeah, I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, the show opens up with announcing that Zilla Fatu is going to show up and sign his contract tonight for NXT. So that's going to be exciting. You know, of course, that leads to some of the usual suspects coming out. So the first one is Cruz Montana. We get his music, and, you know, he's coming through the crowd. The crowd manufactured a Cruz Montana chant, so that's good. And, you know, that's always a good sign. He seemed to be digging it. People are getting used to the name and the cadence, so that's terrific. But Cruz comes in and he basically says, you know, he calls out Zilla. He's like, you ruined my shot. If it wasn't for you, I would be the #1 contender right now. So I got a problem with you. I was very clear when I got here. I'm not here to take any one spot. I'm here to take the spot. I didn't make any, you know, I didn't hide my intentions. And, you know, and that was basically it. And so, you know, I guess the first unexpected thing happened here is that I fully expected Tony D or Grayson Waller or both of them to come out, or maybe even Zilla. But we are told by, I guess, help, one of the crew or whatever, production crew, tells Cruz Montana that Zilla is not here. So he's not here yet. So Cruz is like, well, that figures. In any event, somebody does come out, and it's Rey Fenix for reasons.
Yeah.
I
hear the music and I go, okay. At first I couldn't. I thought Penta, but then I go, no, it's Phoenix. I go, okay. Cruz is not a cruiserweight. I know you got Cruz and cruiserweight, but okay. So I was like, okay.
It made almost no sense whatsoever. I mean, I guess that they wanted to keep people who tuned in maybe to see Zilla, early, stay because Rey Fenix is from the main roster. By the way, Rey Fenix's music is awful. It's so generic. You until you see him, you don't know it's him. And because he's not distinctive looking with his mask, unless you see his tattoos, or at least unless I see his tattoos, I'm not sure who he is at first. So of course it said Phoenix on the Tron, so I was able to riddle those things out together. Anyway, he's there
Fenix.
because
It's Fenix. Remember, now he wants people to say Fenix.
Right, it's Fenix. So
you could say penis, we could say Fenix, whoever. Who cares?
No, we'll go with Fenix instead of the alternative. You gave me two alt choices. I'll go with the one. So he's there to observe the AAA Fatal 4-Way match to see who is going to be his contender for the AAA Cruiserweight title. But they do remind us that, that Fenix and Santana, now Montana, have known each other for a long time. Phoenix still recognizes him despite the name change, and that they tore it up for years on the indies and places.
NXT,
TNA, Impact, AEW, maybe. I'm sure they crossed paths at some point in the first.
Yeah, they did. They had battles there too.
Yeah. MLW maybe even. In any event, who knows? But they reminded us of that, which was cool. I mean, happy enough to see a little bit of memory, but this was not the interruption I was expecting. But it went into the match, and we got the four guys coming out: EK Prosper, Romeo Moreno, Tristan Angels, and La Parka. On the funny side, Booker's like, I wrestled that guy in WCW.
That was great.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And also they did another throwback where they were talking about the speed title that a year ago El Grande Americano held it, of course, acting like there was only one El Grande Americano, even though there was the mask versus match. So, and it was obviously the original El Grande Americano, not the new and improved El Grande Americano. So, two callbacks, one in canon, one despite canon. But, I guess it serves some function. But this match was great. No complaints about this match. But I want to remind people in the rewind machine, I'm sure you're going to get you don't have the neuralizer here, so you can't do it. You picked Tristan Angels.
Yes, I did.
I picked EK Prosper. And I'm also very proud that the three Evolve guys who were also in LFG were in this match. So that was cool to see. That's why I like Evolve. That's why I like LFG, to see the young kids develop. That's more interesting to me than wrestling, which is why I like part of why I like NXT more than the main roster most of the time. Because it generally makes sense, though. Not all of it did. Romeo still thinks about his selling. It's not natural to him, and so it comes off a little campy. Like when he was working the back, he would touch it for a half a second, and then do nothing for 7 seconds, then touch it for half a second. He remembers that he's supposed to do it, but he doesn't remember. It's not second nature to him. He also did something when he came down, and I guess he was working the shoulder, and he put his arm up like this. But I couldn't tell if he was working pain or if he was trying to get the crowd excited, which is a very indie thing to do. So I'm paying special attention to him because that's what they say to him a lot on LFG, that he needs to work on his selling and stop doing spots. But the match was great, and it was mostly an EK Prosper Romeo Moreno exhibition. Tristan Angels was there to hold it together and be the heel. La Parka, I served really no purpose that I could tell in the match other than to pretend that they gave a shit that someone from AAA was going to be there. And really nobody did, and nobody cared about the dance. And if it wasn't for Booker's remark, that would have been a complete waste of a spot for me. I'm only surprised he didn't eat the pin.
Yeah, look, this here, I know you're talking about Romeo Moreno. And by the way, if for those that are listening, it's on the NXT podcast here on the Padawan Awakening. Don't forget, also, you can follow Jeff Lippman on the LFG review with his co-partner, the host, the legendary LaFisto. They break it down. So for him to speak about seeing what LFG's coaches are telling Romeo Moreno, good job on you on observing and seeing him in real time. One thing that I wanted to give them a lot of credit to all four of the men in the ring, Parka, Romeo, Tristan Angel, and EK Prosper. That's not easy, multi-man match. And the multiple style lucha libre styles and the sequence, the rapid fire countering back and forth, they did a good job. For remember, some of these are either indie wrestlers or but they're learning the WWE system and the WWE television. You know, good job on all of them. They all had their opportunities to capitalize in the chaos or steal the victory. And hey, this is what you want. You want everybody in the edge of the seats. You want the crowd to have a "This is awesome" chant. They were highly entertained. Yes, there was a little bit that could some fine tuning that could be done. That's why they're in developmental. That's why they're on NXT. But for a televised match, great job. The finish off, the Prosper capitalized on a wonderful chaos, hitting that moonsault over Moreno. I mean, that looked freaking phenomenal for the victory, and it stealed the show. I mean, you could say what a way to start it off. What a way to tune it out while Cruz Montana is at the parking lot waiting for Zilla Fatu, and these guys are in the house on TV killing it.
Yeah, no, this was a great TV match. This match was a lot of fun. It was everything that people hoped it would be. It was a great way to open up the match. There were "This is awesome" chants. Right guy won, the guy that they've been building as a new star. I wouldn't be surprised if he was elevated to AAA sooner rather than later. I think that the WWE wants to be careful about, keeping too many of the same type of wrestlers, on one show or brand or anything like that. But you can always do crossovers. And they've got a bunch of speed and high flyer guys already, and Fraxium, who I'm not sure how long they're going to stay a team, etc. You've obviously got Javon Evans. You now have Romeo Moreno and EK Prosper. You have Sean Legacy, who's a speed guy. Dorian Van Dux, who's a big guy, who's also a speed guy. And there's actually more of them. There's Tate Wilder, and there's others all over the place. And the rumor still is that Leo Slater is coming. So so I think it's good to diversify. And if he wins or it's even close, I think that he would be a natural on AAA. He's worked with Jack Cartwheel before, obviously.
Yes.
But, I'm sure he's worked with Drake Moreau and some of the others, probably Elijah Holyfield as well. So they should have some good matches together, and then and his style will work with a lot of the luchadors. So yeah, I mean, listen, I'm basing this on nothing except suspicion, but this match was great. I don't necessarily expect them to beat Phoenix. The interesting thing is Noam Dar was there. He played almost no role. Of course, he's a face, but I'm not really sure what the purpose of that was. That's really it. I mean,
did you see that Moreno came out with the metaphor introduction music?
Yes, and that's, I mean, that's fine. I mean, everyone gets their introduction. I guess they told Noam, if you go on TV, you get paid for a TV appearance, and that's where it's at.
You did say you wanted to see him as a manager, so that is a good thing.
Yeah, I would like to see him as a manager, but I'd like to see him as a heel manager for like a women's tag team or like a tag team that needs someone to speak for them. So
fair enough.
OTM could use that. I'm just not sure if they're a tag team any longer.
We'll get into that.
Lash and Nia could certainly use it. Anybody that Lyra Valkyria is in a team with could use a spokesperson. There's no shortage of people who could use a spokesperson. We heard a bunch of them tonight. But there was also a couple times where I caught both Romeo and Tristan peeking up to see when La Parka was going to make his save. Good camera work that turned out to be bad camera work because they were both peeking at the same time. So there were some youthful mistakes there. Anyway, Prosper hit his moonsault on Moreno for the win. Clean as a whistle, right in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised if Moreno turns on Dar at some point and they try to see if he can work as a heel or not. But he just seems like such a natural babyface. I'm not sure, but it's a very good match. Right guy won, not just because I predicted it, but because it is the right person to win the match. And I think this is going to be a fun match. And it's next week on TV, right?
Yes, it's on NXT TV next week, which looks like it's going to be a loaded show next week as we get into the card unfolding.
Yeah, it sure does. And, one thing we knew was coming, we sort of dodged a bullet and got at least the lesser of the two evils. So
yes, we'll get into that.
So the Ren QCC, they're chitting and chatting, and basically Vanity Project sidles up to them. And, for whatever reason, they've got sort of a rivalry going. And I'm not really sure what it's all about. But Vanity Project wants to help give them tips on how to win their tag team match because they're going to be the 2-time NXT champions, and Rendell basically skewer these guys, basically saying that they remind them of the boys that Kendall used to wrestle in high school. They couldn't grow facial hair either. You guys spend so much time looking in the mirror, but you still look like that. The only one with muscles is Micah, and that she's the Vanity, and those three are the Project. And then they're like, Mike, are you going to let her talk to us like that? And she's like, she cooked you guys. So let's go talk to Stone or whatever. Anyway, they walked away. So it was a.
Hey, I can't not fault Brad Baylor to taking a shot at Kendall. You never know. Hey, it's Love Island. It's Love Island and Bible studies.
Yeah, no. How you can't. I don't hate the player. No, it's part of the game. A little weird, but hey, a little weird is okay. I mean, I'm not exactly sure where these teams and their stories intersect, but they're in the same locker room, so maybe they thought they'd find a good little dynamic. And I'll say that everything works with Ren. Even if it doesn't work, it's still not bad. She's great. She's just one of those. She's just one of those that everyone she's with works well.
Can we say that she's like that? I'm not saying exactly like her, but she's got a lot of Chelsea Green vibe. Yeah. Put her 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 seconds. She's learning how to capitalize at a young, or at that level of television, which is, and if anything, by the way, tomorrow you got to check out her Wednesday social media post. Fucking freaking entertaining from her. You got to take a look at that.
She's good stuff. And also Giovanni Capri with her Evolve pre-show, the Capri show. I always enjoy that very much. Next, we have Thea Hale accompanied by Miss Parker, who's taken on Natty and what should be my favorite team, but isn't, because although Nikita elevates everybody that she works with, Natty deflates everyone that she works with. And this is... So that's my complaint with this. As far as this was concerned, I thought it was fine. Natty started out by playing with her food, but it got a lot more 50-50. But in the end, Natty was too much. There really wasn't much in the way of treating or any sort of interference. Meanwhile, there was a cutaway, like a picture-in-picture, where we saw Cruz, Montana, in the NXT parking lot. Very brave man being there after lights out looking for Zilla Fatu, who still wasn't arrived. Now, there was a sequence which doesn't seem like it meant anything, and I don't know if it might one day or if it just didn't, but there was a sequence where Thea was in the sharpshooter and she was crawling towards the ropes and she was extending her hand out, and Jada had her hand out, and it felt like Thea wanted Jada to reach it and pull her to the ropes, which is cheating, but they're both faces. Jada, of course, didn't do that, but I was wondering if that's going to be a story at some point, that they don't have what it takes to win together. They're not really a team. They have a 4 count or a 5 count or whatever it is. And that she let her down, that she shouldn't have had another friend. She should have just taken Natty up on her offer of training in the dungeon. That's transactional. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But Thea eventually tapped out. there was a post-match sequence where Carmen and Nikita basically held Jada down while Natty put Thea back in the sharpshooter and wouldn't let it go, and made her watch. So make her suffer for her sins, make them both suffer for their sins. So this Natty Jada Thea thing doesn't end. I believe tomorrow night, is it, or soon? Thea will be facing Nikita for the Evolve Women's Championship also, and it might be tomorrow. It might be as soon as tomorrow night. Don't hold me to that. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good match. I feel no chemistry though between when I saw Carmen, Nikita, and Natty the first time. I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. And Carmen and Nikita, this is going to be cool. They're both strikers. They're both gorgeous. Different body types, but very similar offense, different vibes. And then Natty, it's just like she sucks out all the oxygen out of it. She sucks all the charisma out of it. She gets the spotlight, and it's just like, why? This isn't blood sport. Like, no offense, but you're not facing like an indie darling. Like, I no disrespect to any of these people, but you're not facing like an Alley Catcher or Becca or Vixen, which I'm sure they're all great, but they're not part of the roster. So it's that's more exciting. It's more to see Natty in her, in her basically Shayna Baszler character. I want to kill you. In WWE, we've seen her lose too many matches. It's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I look, when I started watching that match, and I said, look, the ladies come out, Natty and Thea Hale. It wasn't a bad match. I was a little bit quite disappointed the way the sequence of the match went. I said, you know what, these ladies are gonna have a banger of a match. Because I saw Thea Hale go to TNA, part of the television title, and she had a real good match with Harley Hudson, back and forth, and she was very ring dominant, like apron wise, wrestling match, and I go, Natty is a strong big girl, but not overpowering Thea Hale, so I thought I was gonna get that kind of more of a kind of mat wrestling between the two ladies. It was a little bit off. It wasn't a terrible match. It wasn't a sloppy match. I think I don't want to look past the story here. Someone's going to take Natalia's offer. Whether it's going to be Thea Hale training in the dungeon, or does Jada Parker has what it takes to be that next level brutal, cold-hearted, black-hearted bitch that Natty's trying to take her and elevate her to. So I think whichever one of those two, I think that's the purpose behind this. But along the ways of the story or the whole betterment of the story, we're not getting any good. It's not really hitting at a full throttle, if that makes sense.
It makes complete sense. I don't have an answer for you because I don't know what the purpose of Natty is other than to test people to see, to be the gatekeeper. And if that's the only purpose, I get it. And her word.
Can I ask this? Because Natty says Natty elevates Natalia. Natty decimates. Natty elevates. To me, she's elevating. I don't see no difference with the character.
I don't think that she elevates anybody. I mean, I don't really know what to say. I don't feel anything off of her. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. I respect her body of work and her career. And she is fun in certain places. But this just isn't working. I think Nikita and Carmen would honestly be better off without her or somebody else. Somebody that complement. I mean, Sloane Jacobs in Evolve with Nikita is great. Giovanna Capri with Nikita is great. Zeta Steele with Nikita Lyons was great. I mean, it's not her. Carmen has never really had that much personality that we've seen, but her presence, we've seen her presence alone. And with the Perros del Mal, there's something there. Again, I just something's missing. I'm glad it's not just me, because sometimes things are just me. But I'm just not feeling this all with Natty.
Understandable.
And but the match was fine.
Can we say this? It feels like Natty doesn't fit the WWE style.
I don't know if that's the case. I just don't think that. Again, I think her gatekeeping function should be done elsewhere. It should be done on LFG. It should be done in the PC, maybe on Evolve, but not on NXT. It doesn't bring eyes. It doesn't bring ratings. It doesn't. And again, I hate to repeat myself, but I mean, I think to a certain extent, it's hurting Jada Parker, who beat her once. It's not really doing much for Thea Hale, and it's really hurting Nikita and Carmen. I mean, if this is what it takes to get them elevated to the next roster, to the main roster, I guess it's not. But I can't imagine another 4 women going to the main roster so soon. Unless all of a sudden TKO has decided, we do want to have our rosters have a little bit of thickness on it, so that there are more people who can take losses, and we can start building some winning streaks and try to make wrestling make sense again, as opposed to keeping our rosters lean and fooling ourselves that everybody on the roster is either a star or could be a star or is just a role player. And given all of their price gouging and cost cutting, I don't see there being a change in philosophy to thicken up the roster. I mean, I think adding like someone like Baron Corbin or whatever is, probably, what you're going to see. Someone who will be a good soldier for, a year to 3 or whatever. And, then they bring back Apollo Cruz or whatever for the same role or whatever. Matt Cardona, who's doing whatever they ask of him as well, to get his retirement money. But yeah,
Let me ask this. Out of those 5 women, I make it 4 because we don't think that. What I mean 4 is Carmen, Nikita, Jada, and Thea. Who's ready to be in the main roster? Other than Jada Parker is the obvious, because who she's dating with, to make it easier for them on the road. But I'll be honest with you, neither 5, even Natalia, neither 5 of the women benefit going to the main roster currently right now. If tomorrow, I don't see any benefit of having Jada Parker in the main roster.
I don't know. Jada Parker's got natural charisma, but she's better as a heel. I think that Nikita Lyons would knock it dead. I think that they would love her. She's got a unique body. She's got a type of sexuality, and she's got an interesting. She's a heel, but her character is like, I'm a hippie who is like, what's the word? I'm like spiritual. Like I'm in touch with my karmas and my chakras and my spheroids and and all of that and and all of that stuff. So she's an interesting character, and I know it seems like I'm a stan or a simp, but I wasn't. That's the thing. She won me over in Evolve.
Okay.
Anyway, it's probably academic and, but listen, match was fine. I just feel like things are vortexing and
yeah, it is in a vortex.
Yeah. A lot of things in the show. Speaking of which, Lucien and Bronco were talking, but apparently things are all good. But Lucien's going to go out to the ring by himself because there's no chance that a faction of 5 people is going to use the numbers in a 5-minute match. So this is the speed title: Lucien Price versus Lexis King. Lexis King the champion. Lucien Price beat him last week in a singles match. Beat him within like 3.5 minutes, so certainly within the 5-minute time limit. Lexis comes in with a plan. He's playing keep away basically for the first minute or so. He's basically running away. Lucien catches him, but sometimes when he catches him, the other folks get in the way, meaning Uriah Connor's Applebee's waiter, Charles Dempsey, divorced father who no longer cares about how he looks at his kids' practices, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, who I just wish somebody would flush him down the toilet, and Ariana Grace, God bless her, and her side boob tonight, the saving grace of the whole thing. So I'm promoting her back from Dixie Carter back to Ariana Grace, but it's on a provisional basis. She's on probation. This match, I don't know. I mean, the numbers and the distractions added up, and while Lucien looked pretty good in it, Lexis got the win with his coronation and all that good stuff. For whatever reason, Birthright, instead of hightailing that out of there, decided they were going to try and teach Lucien a lesson. And would Bronco come out? And Bronco did come out, and he cleared the ring with Lucien's help. Then they bumped into each other. Are they friends? Are they partners? Are they going to start fighting? Is Lucien going to be like, why didn't you have my back when I needed you? You're out, but you're late, or better late than never. But no, they just did the handshake and hugged it out. So for the moment, Out of the Mud is still happily in the mud pit, the mosh pit. What's the
trenches?
If you're
They're
happy,
in the trenches. They're in the trenches still.
They're in the trenches. Okay, that's fine. So there you go. So all is well in the trenches.
Do you think? I thought he was gonna clothesline Bronco right there. I was like, ooh, Lucien's gonna. I thought he was when the typical raise the hand, shake the hand, put the hand up together. I say, here comes a freaking clothesline on Bronco Lima.
Well, I thought there was going to be, but I thought Bronco Lima was going to do the clothesline, and then the other Perros were going to come out, or at least Los Garzas and Carbon, and lay the wood down to him. So neither one of us got what we were expecting. Maybe it's coming one day.
It's coming, but we don't know when.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's in a couple weeks, a few months, or a few years, you know how I feel. I like tag team wrestling. OTM is a tag team. I think that has a lot of potential. But it's going to be what it's going to be. So might as well try to enjoy the ride.
Too bad we don't have Von Wagner come Tuesday.
Oh, that is too bad. That's way to rub it in. Thanks a lot, Kev. So Grayson Waller's coming. He's got a black eye. I'm not sure where he got the black eye.
Another one that's coming.
Yeah. So he's coming. So then he comes to the ring, and then Tony D comes out, and then Cruz Montana comes out, and they're all stating their case, and Tony doesn't care. He's going to beat everyone else up. And Grayson Waller, I'm sorry. I told you after 3 or 4 weeks, I said, we got the best Grayson Waller. We got his pipe bomb, but at some point he's just going to be Grayson Waller, and I was there by week 2, but now I'm just like, he's just Grayson Waller. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about him. He doesn't get a pop. He doesn't boo. He's not funny. He's not interesting. He's barely clever. You know what would be clever? To future endeavor him. Whoops, was that out loud? Yes, it was. Future endeavor him. He stinks.
I actually I'm going to disagree with you, because I actually like when he comes out and he says he was robbed of an NXT title opportunity by Zilla Fatu interfering. He's also tired of another Uso getting involved in his life. He's used to fighting with Usos back from Western Sydney. A little bit of their talking of history there. I kind of like what he kept talking nonsense, attacking Sila. It was. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But then again, typical sources board of everyone coming out and getting their throats in and talking, and then of course the general manager comes out and make a special announcement. Like, he's all over the place, this general manager, Stone. He makes a triple threat, which you kind of see it. I'm like, yeah, but you still haven't signed. He goes, well, Sila's going to sign tonight. I mean, so we'll see where that goes.
Right. All right. Well, it's good that you and Marie are both still Grayson Waller fans. I am not a fan. I don't think I've been a fan of his. There's been moments where I've appreciated his work, but he's just not cut out for this world, lad. And, talking about West Sydney and fighting Usos, there are some people who will understand what that means, but most people don't know what that means. Most people don't know anything about West Sydney. They think that's where the koala bears get chlamydia. I don't know. In any event, yeah. Robert Stone, who totally doesn't know what's going to happen later, makes this a triple threat match for the title, and they're like, "Hey, that's great, fine by us, we don't care." Tony, you set him up, I'll knock him down. So that's
I
fine.
actually thought about you, Jeff.
What?
I said, why in the world you're not working for WWE Legal? You know how many times that lawyer had to write that contract up for Stone stupidity every time? You know how much money you get paid? Yeah, we need a new NXT GM. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, he's lost
Why don't
whatever.
you put your name in the hat? Let's update the LinkedIn profile, and you go out there, them contracts, make contracts the way Stone, and you could pay per word per. Come on, 5%, 3% for that Sports Jedi Media, that whatever you make from those contracts. Come on, let's do it. Let's get Jeff on the payroll, guys.
Damn right, that sounds good to me. Speaking of good to me, Lizzie Rain talking with Shiloh Hill. Shiloh's like, "Sorry I let you down last week, but I couldn't go. If I could have gone, I would." And she's like, "Oh, it's all good. No worries. EK did great." And he's like, "Yeah, EK is the best." So this was another, totally organic exchange. But the purpose of it was that Miles Bourne comes over, says, "Sorry to interrupt. This has been a lot of interruptions, but Shiloh, this match tonight with you and Jackson Drake, it's like got no stakes for you." So I talked to Robert Stone, and it's like, if you beat Jackson Drake, then you're also going to get a title. I mean, you'll get a shot at my North American title
contract. You could have been typing up. Oh my, putting your stamp on it. Are you licensed in the state of Florida, by any way?
As far as you all know, yes.
Let's go.
But no, I'm not. But doesn't really matter for contracts, so to speak. In any event, so this is weird because if I'm Tavion, I'd be a little bit mad because now either way, Miles Bourne has to wrestle twice that night. Now they don't know whether
the stipulation. No, let me correct you. The stipulation is if Shiloh Hill would have won, there was only going to be one match, and it was just a North American title, no tag team, because the Vanity Project had no stake and claim to fight for the tag team titles. So it would have been one match. That's the caveat there.
That's right, but it's weird. Remember going back to when we saw Vanity Project? They said they're going to be 2-time champions when they run it back at Heatwave. Did they spoil something, or are they just trying to be wishful thinking?
They're speaking into existence.
Okay, they're manifesting. Okay, so seeing the Kitty Lions is rubbing off on everyone. Good.
Yes, of course, unfortunately.
And of course, Booker goes, "Champions just don't offer title shots like that." So the Booker, I like when he's like semi-heel Booker. So that was good. Ren QCC facing Callie and Kalani. Can the new K&K Dance Factory get along? Let's find out. But before we find out about that, we see Robert Stone on the phone talking to Zilla. He's like, "Okay, Zilla, great. I'm glad I'm going to see you soon. Looking forward to it. Thanks a lot." And he walks in, and Keanu Carver is making himself at home on his desk. And Stone's like, "Keanu, what are you doing here?" And Keanu looks like he's about to launch into a fit, but then he goes from Green Hulk to Gray Hulk and gets his composure. And he's like, No, Stone, don't worry. I know how things work around here. Hey, I got you a coffee." And Stone's like, "I don't want coffee. It's so late." He's like, "Drink the coffee, Stone." Almost turning back into Green Hulk or even Red Hulk. But Stone does take the coffee because he's getting a little shook as Cam Hendricks makes his way in and says, "Hey, I beat Mason Brooks, so my name should be on your lips." And Keanu's like, "Don't you see that me and Stone are having a moment?" And Stone's like, that's a moment? That's what you think this is? And he just walks away. Second week in a row doesn't walk into Micah Lockwood, so we don't see them eyeing each other up like legs of lamb. And I was expecting there to be more of an exchange between Keanu and Cam, and there wasn't. I don't hate that lack of the obvious, though. I think some of these things were fresh, like Vanity Project with the Ren QCC for no particular reason. Miles Bourne going up to Shiloh for no particular sensible reason, and Keanu and Cam not leading directly to fisticuffs.
Boy, you didn't even mention Lizzie Rain in there.
I guess I didn't. I mean, she was just an accessory. It's just to remind us that she's on the show. I mean, one of the problems that I think wrestling has, with the exception of the main roster, is there's just too many wrestlers. There's just too much talent.
Not only that, is she taking the role of Tatum Paxley? That's what I got. Like, how Tatum was best friends with Shiloh and they were talking the back, and that was kind of a cute dynamic that they had. We all know there is no Love Island interest, because we all know Tatum is married to Big Body Hobby and so forth. But
wait,
that dynamic,
that they weren't together anymore. I thought they were married too.
I thought they were. Well, who knows? I mean, would it be surprised if she kicks him to the curb after she got to the main roster? I mean,
no,
he drives a Toyota, by the way.
I thought those kids were happy together.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. These are just the unfounded rumors that people tell me, unless they're founded. I don't know. I don't know people's personal lives generally. I don't even know real people's personal lives, let alone fake people's.
Well, that dynamic with Izzy and Shiloh, hopefully that's something in the near future, that if they do have good chemistry, they could kind of mimic the same thing as Tatum and Shiloh. They backstage, they are entertaining. Shiloh has won me the way Nikita has won you over, and Shiloh has won me over. I was not a big fan. I despise seeing that kid on television, and now I could tolerate him. I like him. I like what he's doing.
No, I mean, no, I'm enjoying. I like Shiloh. There's a switch that needs to be flipped. I'm not exactly sure what it is. He's got to be a little bit more low key than he was with Tatum, because he was too unhinged then. He was too like the Joker manic in that. The chemistry with Lizzie, there's nothing there, but maybe he'll like try to make her instruments like more electric and get her more sound, and maybe they'll stumble upon something. But
it's the beginning of their friendship, Mr. Lippman. They gave him some time. I think they're building something.
I just think that they should move on to him just being a singles competitor and wrestling. He's got a personality. He's got a persona. He's got a social media presence. The only thing people aren't sold on is how good a wrestler is. He's okay, but he's sort of a big galoot. He's a big guy, but he doesn't have particularly impressive physique. So let him just wrestle. Let him just wrestle. Let him just clobber some people. Even if you have to bring in, Nasty Boy from AAA, and then bring in, someone from Noah, whatever. Let him just kill some people. Where's Josh Briggs? Let him kill Josh Briggs. Whatever the case might be. In any event, we next see Kendall coming out. She still has her ear bandage, so that's fun. Ren and Callie, obviously, Ren and Kendall obviously work very well together, but K and K work together pretty well as well. There are 3 Ks in this, which that's probably the only way that you can say 3 Ks and not have.
Well, they're in Florida.
Yeah, right. Very different 3 Ks. Callie and Kalani actually worked well together. There was even a time where one of them pulled the other one out of harm's way. There were a couple times where they were, hot tags where the other one wasn't necessarily thrilled, but they saved each other, and it wasn't really like can they coexist with tension match. It was just it was actually just people who worked pretty well together, not necessarily realizing that they had a singular goal, but not necessarily working opposed to each other. So anyway, this match was very good. As a matter of fact, they plenty of action, most of it good. Kendall's still playing that she doesn't have equilibrium, starting to feel real. Like when she falls, it looks like she really fell, which is probably an easy thing to do. It's probably harder to fake fall. And at some point, it was just Callie and Ren, but everybody was working together. And Callie escaped from Ren's. What did she call her finisher? Submission?
The wrench, something like
Right,
that.
wrench lock, something like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
the wrench bar. Anyway, Callie hit her superplex, and then she went into the Callie connection. Unfortunately, commentary said if you've never seen this, get ready, because there's a chance she could have missed it, or maybe Kalani would have betrayed her and tripped her from the outside, or maybe Kendall would have recovered and tripped her from the outside. That didn't happen. She does a great pounce. She's fast as heck. Super athlete, and she pinned Ren Sinclair. The only thing I was surprised about is I thought that Callie was going to pin Kendall, which would turn that into a triple threat, but apparently that didn't happen. I don't hate that either.
Oh no, I'm thankful that didn't happen.
Yeah, it's harder and harder to find one-on-one matches, especially in title matches these days, for some of the reasons that we stated. So I'm actually pleased that they haven't gone that route, at least yet, and it doesn't look like they're going to, based on something that happens a little bit shortly. But what's your take on this match?
Oh, fine match. If you say tonight this was your favorite match over the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contender for the AAA Cruiserweight title, I have no debate or argument with there. Either one that you wanted to choose a pick, I have no problem. The ladies continue to kill it in NXT. This is a tag team that was put together with the two Kaylee Armstrong and Kalani Jordan. The way they worked, and they still kept it. Well, we're not supposed to be on the same page. With the you tag me, and I'm like, why you tag me? I love that aspect because they kept it a little bit consistent. Where we never tagged before, and we're not supposed to be happy-go-lucky here. I'm gonna give you my hand and tag in. But I like the fact that as they were working together, they had a common goal, the purpose to beat the Ren QC club, and of course the save on the rope where she pulled Kalani out of harm's way. That was Kaylee, and they were worked wrong there, breaking up the pins, the wrench lock. I think that's the name of it. When she broke that wrench lock from Ren Sinclair. That was good. That's what a tag team partner. So could we see a birth of a women tag team? I don't know. You know how WWE are with their tag teams. But if you see that was a genesis of it, that's a good way of the two ladies becoming a genesis of a tag team in Kaylee Armstrong and Kalani Jordan. But at the end of the match with the finisher, with the Kelly Armstrong shoulder tackle, gives me a lot of Ultimate Warrior vibes. I'm like, I would love something, I love the power slam and then she transitioned to that. I don't know, I would like a running power slam. I think she's that strong enough, like a British Bulldog type of finish would be better for her rather than that, because it gives me a lot of Ultimate Warrior vibes, and she's not Ultimate Warrior. She's a real good wrestler. I enjoy her matches. The right outcome, because it threw, as we're going to later on, more implications later on as we get to it when we're breaking our review. Also, you saw at the end, Kalani first wasn't receptive of like winning, and then as the camera panned away, she started with that sinister heel grin, like, oh yeah, we beat y'all girls. So I liked it. It was a real good one. If this is your match of the night, I have no argument.
I think it might be. I'm going to go with the Fatal 4-Way, but I mean, this could be as well. I agree. I mean, and I don't know that we normally do matches of the night anyhow. And so
for our listeners. Yeah.
But both those matches were a lot of fun and well done and well booked. Okay. So next we get Dion Lennox and Quan basically on a one-on-one with the split screen. So obviously they're in totally different locations where they couldn't possibly get to each other.
Did you hear the part when he asked him for the Grey Poupon? Can you pass me the Grey Poupon?
Would have been funny and then you heard a window go down and he just reached through and gave it to him. But of course, y'all know what they said. You're nothing without Dark State. Dark State's nothing without me. I'm gonna beat your ass. You're a great college football player, college boy, but I'm better than you at everything else. No, you're not. Anything you can do, I can do better. No, I can't. Yes, you can. Let's do it in a steel cage. A steel cage? You want a steel cage? Okay, fine. And let's have weapons. So they all but said, no DQ. They didn't say Hell in a Cell, but it's essentially a Hell in a Cell match. But it's next week on TV, not on Heatwave. Yes. So this is what we hope for, because we knew we were getting this match one more time, whether we liked it or not. Hopefully, once again, Deion Lennox will prove me wrong, that when I see the matches, I actually enjoy them, which is what's happened on big stage matches before. And let's see if Quan can keep up, because I think he's been a little bit overrated. Let's see. We'll see. Anyway, it's not on Heatwave, so I have no real victory. I have no new complaints, so I'm not going to voice the old one. That's just silly at this point.
I do want to give a lot of credit to Saquon. He had the line of the night in this whole thing. It wasn't a great promo, but Saquon does cut a decent promo. But he said he's a diamond in the rough because he's been carrying them under pressure. He's had the pressure of carrying Dark State, all of them. I was like, oh my God, that was good. The cadence and when he brought it out, I said that was very good, Saquon. I know he cut a good promo prior to the last time they were wrestling before the PLE match that got me more invested into Saquon. I'm still fully not there. I'll tolerate it, but I'm thankfully it's not on the PLE. That's where I was worried, where you had when they only do 5 to 6 matches on a PLE, and they were going to take up a lot of time. And I'm glad it's not. I'm glad it's on a Tuesday night. It gives you something to look forward to go home show of before Heatwave, and things are going to get hot with a steel cage match with weapons and all that. Also, hey, this is a blow-off match. Let's blow it off and let's move on. I want to see something better for Shaquan. What's next for him? What's next for Deion Lennox and the rest of Dark State?
Yeah. A couple problems with this is that Deion Lennox started speaking over Quan, which would have been fine if they were speaking over each other during an argument. But when he spoke over him, it was during Saquon's, like, his catchphrase. And so then Saquon had to sort of repeat it or sort of, swallowed it. And then Deion sort of did his own mockery of the catchphrase, his own version of it, which was fine, but walking over the catchphrase, that, clearly an error. And, the timing was off, and, I don't know who was giving the cues or miscues or whatever, but that wasn't great. Our next match, Shiloh Hill versus Heartbreak Jackson Drake, coming out with Vanity Project. Shiloh's coming out by himself. He's wrestling in Timberlands and tan jeans or corduroys or trousers or something that's not quite jeans but not quite cargo pants. Can you edify me? You're a working man. You're an electrician. You know what men wear. What
shout out to Carhartt jeans. They're one of the tough mothers.
Okay. All right. Well, then there we have it. So rugged jeans, and they hold up in the ring. Fun little match. Vanity Project obviously trying to get involved when they could. Micah Lockwood would get up and get the ref's attention, while Baylor and Smokes would, try to do the beatdown on Shiloh Hill. That was with various degrees of success, but at some point the referee not just caught them, but actually jumped down and intercepted the Ricky Smokes left haymaker, which doesn't say a whole lot for Ricky Smokes' strength, or does say a lot for the ref's strength. But he then ejected all 3 extraneous members of Vanity Project, and while that happened, Shiloh Hill did, basically a swanton flip onto them, which took them all out. But Micah got up and dragged the basically lifeless bodies of Baylor and Smokes out of the ring, which was sort of funny. At some point during this, there was an inadvertent ref bump, and the ref went down. And as Shiloh Hill was positioning himself to take advantage, though still a little bit woozy, not exactly what what's going on, Narako comes from out from under the ring, in between the ring apron and the ring itself, and blows the mist, which they have identified as raccoon mist, as opposed to the mist Narako used before, which is, not necessarily raccoon mist, but I guess he used the raccoon mist. I didn't see a dispenser that said raccoon mist, like, Batman's anti-shark repellent from that movie. But yeah, that blinded Shiloh Hill, and that led to Jackson Drake hitting his 450, and then Jackson Drake picks up the win. He has his North American title match at Heatwave, the Vanity Project, unless they spoiled things. Or, as you said, even if they didn't spoil it. They're just trying to manifest. It was still not on the card, but we'll see. But yeah, I thought this was a fun match. Listen, I'm not interested in Naraku, but you knew he had to be involved after constantly being mentioned by Shiloh and the Mist and all that. I don't think it should have been the Raccoon Mist. I think it should have just been, regular Japanese Mist, so that at some point there's a Mist versus Mist match, and Shiloh's Raccoon Mist turns out to be better than, the ancient Japanese recipe invented by the great Kabuki, 50 years ago, but in America. But in any event, this was fine. I mean, if we're going to have Narako there, I mean, he is a veteran, so, if he's there to elevate Shiloh and help him get the kinks out and get to the next level, I'm all for that. I just, it's weird seeing a 6'5" guy have to wrestle a 5'6" guy or a 5'6" woman.
When I saw Naraku come out and that way he sprayed that mist, I said, I hope Io Sky isn't hoping to get kids anytime soon, because boy, that guy can't spray for shit. I mean, Shiloh Hill's face was clean. That was nothing. I mean, if you turn and blink, or if you go for a sip of Tang and you look up, you didn't even know that he sprayed anything in his face. There was no coloring. There was nothing. There was no. If you didn't look, forget it. There've been better mists. He wasn't. There was no Smurf. I remember when Oscar got all mist, he looked like a Smurf. So forth, nothing. So it was a little bit of a disconnect. Maybe you could say, well, if the referee would have saw the mist in his face, the match would have been thrown out, and maybe there was just so much stipulation they wanted. So okay, if you want to give me that route, because I can hear people online typing.
Never happened in the history of wrestling before.
Oh, oh my God, like I can hear people typing, like for instance, I said that we wanted to see a female wrestler on AEW's All Elite graphic, and so it being the smartasses. She says she's been on it. I go, well, she's been on for almost 6 months. Well, if you go to the roster page, the young lady isn't on it. So if you're not on the roster page, you're not on the company. So my point is, there's always an idiot out there that wants to be a contrarian on X. So I'm pretty sure I could hear someone typing their asses off about the misc and the eyes and the stipulation. So yeah.
One, AEW is famously not current on its roster pages, so their infrastructure and their support is horrendous. On the Raccoon Mist, I don't know how you do this with Mist, but you'd think if they did like brown, white, and black, you could have at least seen that it was like sort of raccoon colors or striped. I don't know how you manage that, but you're right. I saw nothing to indicate there was Raccoon Mist other than them saying Raccoon Mist. So yeah, that was weird as well. In fact, I rewound it because I missed Naraku. I just heard it, and I went back to see it, and then I realized that not only did I not see Naraku, but I didn't see the mist. But the second time I saw Naraku, but I still didn't see the mist on his face. But it was basically Triple H, spitting the water out in his entrance.
I guess they shout out to the room temperature water that they give you at the Performance Center.
Yeah, without the backlighting and the cool music and the smoke. So I don't know. That was a whiff.
Big time.
I don't mind the idea, just the execution. I mean, I kind of like the idea. Just you're right. We should see the mist, and
they could have done brown food coloring.
Yes,
simple.
And honestly, we're probably overthinking it. They could have done brown. Yeah. They could have done black. They could have done any color. And Naraku's used a whole bunch of colors. Why they decided that he's using Raccoon Mist instead of regular mist is it's Shiloh that should be using Raccoon Mist. And
who told him it was Raccoon Mist? Is there such thing? Is there such thing as a Raccoon Mist?
No. There's skunk mists. I mean, I'm sure raccoons have pheromones, but I mean, I would think that's only to attract a raccoon of the opposite sex, or if you're unlucky, like a badger or a bear or something. Did Shiloh come out with was he carrying anything that said Raccoon Mist or a bucket of anything? No. I don't remember seeing him with anything in his hands.
No, just because you get a DA haircut doesn't mean you have a duck's ass.
All right, well, we then see Zarya in Robert Stone's office, and Callie Armstrong walks in. She's feeling pretty good about herself. Zarya is like, I'm defending my title. And Zarya looks like she's 8 inches taller than Callie Armstrong, which I don't think she is. I don't know if she was wearing like giant lifts in her boots.
No, she's tall. No, Zarya's a tall woman. You've just seen she's deceptively tall.
I know she's a tall woman, but I thought like maybe she's like 5'8" or 5'9".
No, she did make Kaylee Armstrong look small though.
Yeah, she made Callie Armstrong look tiny. That was a terrible camera angle, and Stone for whatever reason makes some other goofy stipulation that if Callie wins a match, then it'll be a triple threat for the North American title against Zarya and Ren in the unification match for the Speed title, which, we were afraid there was going to be a triple threat for the women's championship. Didn't see this one coming. It makes no sense with the unification match whatsoever. I mean, I would think that, Zarya wasn't thrilled about it. You would think that Ren might not be thrilled about it either. Very odd. I guess that's why Callie pinned Ren, but she didn't come in there saying, I pinned the Speed champion, so I should get a shot at that. She expressly said that she's not interested in the Speed championship and she doesn't want to go through a tournament because Lucien didn't have to. Why should she? And I guess that's where Robert Stone picked up on, okay, fine, you don't have to. So I guess the match is that if Callie beats Zarya next week, then Callie is inserted into the triple threat unification match. Is that right?
I rolled my eyes and I went to take my blood pressure medication. I'm sorry. It was just one of those like. First of all, you're okay. You're going to unify the women's Speed title to the North American, so that Speed title is going away. I know a lot of people are happy. They don't like the Speed title. I always said they should have made that a television title, but that's another,
Mm-hmm.
And they should do that with the men's Speed title. Make it a television title, 10-minute time limit. You don't beat the champion, it's a draw. The same way they should do in WCW, NWA TV title. You got a really small time limit, not 5, not 3 minutes, 10 minutes. If you don't pin the champion, goes to a draw, champion keeps his title, and he could go
100%. And I throw a little wrinkle into it. You know how NWA, if you defended it twice, you got a world title such. What I would do is I would say, if you win 7 times, you can opt to face the North American champion. But if not, then you have to win 10 times. If you win 10 times, then you can challenge for the NXT title.
Yeah, like an option C, like the way NXT, like the way TNA has with the X Division. You could trade in your X Division title for option C to go up against the TNA World Champion. You could do that after 4 or 5 matches, and if they have successful title defense, they have an option. I would like that. You make that title different, meaningful, fresh, stipulation wise. But of course, that becomes what that's called? Being creative.
Yeah, but it's not even all that creative. I mean, the NWA did that for years and years and years. MLW is lightning matches. They don't usually have a point. The only wrinkle I'm giving is just, like you said, there's a plan B and a plan A, depending on how confident you feel. But there's a whole host of stories that could go along with both those things. So someone didn't elect to take the North American Championship and, loses match 10 due to, maybe the current North American champion screwing them or something, or whatever the case might be.
Right.
There's 100 different ways that you could go with it, so that there are sort of new stories just around a rather simple, choice, which is simpler than, it's nominally more complicated than when you win Royal Rumble, which champion you're going to go after, or, Money in the Bank when you decide to cash it.
And which title you're going to cash it too, because the Money in the Bank is open to any title. That's like drives people crazy.
But I would like to know if anybody in our audience or anybody out there, period, is enjoying these sort of backward ass on strange Robert Stone stipulations, because I'm not. Once was one time. Now it seems to be, they seem to think it's something that's working.
And they're using it as a crutch, Jeff. Jeff, they're using it as a crutch.
Right. And it's a shitty crutch. I don't even know that it needs to be it's an unnecessary crutch, and it's confusing. It's too much thinking for NXT?
No, I think they're trying to circumvent because the NXT PLEs are going to be 5 to 6 matches long, and they're not going to be mostly in the Performance Center. This one's going to be in Texas, so they're trying to get as many talent as possible with under 5 to 6 matches. So that's why they're multi-man matching it, so they could take a nice roster with them, so they could have we got a lot and justify the ticket price for the NXT shows.
Yeah. See, I think we're 3 for 3 on this one, but you're exactly right. And I think that's wise, especially with the AAA show, and also because I don't care what they say. I think that they were disappointed that they only got like 370,000 people when they went against an AEW pay-per-view last time. I really thought that they would do. I really think they thought that they would do much better numbers, at least similar to the regular weekly TV show, and not, arguably in Fantasyland, but there's no way to disprove it, that AEW sold more pay-per-views buys than watched NXT, or that it's even close. I think they were. That's
a tough one to believe too, when you have to actually pay, and CW is free. You could put anybody with rabbit ears could have gotten that show. So I don't know. I'm gonna call bullshit on that one.
Well, I mean, I heard the Redemption was the one of the lowest bought.
Oh, it was garbage.
Shows. Yeah, but people buy it before they know whether it's garbage or not.
Right. You're right on that.
So I suppose some could. I mean, you can buy it all week. You can buy it even more than that. The price just goes down.
There's a lot of pirates out there.
Indeed there are. But yeah, you're right. Between the AAA card and the NXT, I mean, I think the only mistake they're making is trying to call it one card than the next, as opposed to sort of interspersing it all together.
Just mix it up. Put the shows together and mix them up. And sprinkle the different type of matches. Don't one NXT, one AAA match. They don't. But that's the way they want to fold it. So that's on them.
Yeah, absolutely. For whatever reason or reasons there are. It might be as simple as that CW, they haven't come to a deal as
to what. That's right. You're right. You said it perfect. That's the reason. You actually talked. Now you made sense. See, this is why we need an attorney on our channel.
I mean, and I guess WWE wouldn't throw it in because, CW, they have the news at 10, so I guess they'd have to start.
This is a 3:00 start. This is a 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's an early start.
Well, maybe they've got college football or something that they think is more important. I don't know what the reason is entirely, but AAA seems like it can do better than being on.
And that's going to start early. I think that starts at 11 or 10. I got to look at the times. That's an early start too. So it's an early start in Texas, and yeah.
Craziness. All right. So then we find out that Zilla arrived. He comes in the car service. Looks good. He's got sunglasses on, whatever. Comes straight to the ring. Of course, Tony D and Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana all arrive, and they basically rinse and repeat what happened hours before or minutes before. And the contract, of course, has the stipulation that Zilla Fatu's first match in NXT will be a title match. So then Zilla says, "Yeah, boys, this is now a fatal 4-way, just like we knew it was going to be." Okie doke.
The presentation and the hype, the glazing from all the fans, the presentation. Zilla Fatu is here. Zilla Fatu is here. And then the guy takes the microphone and talks. Oof.
I like Zilla Fatu just fine, but yeah,
we need Armando Estrada to return back with him, because this guy cannot talk for shit.
He has a presence. He's not a speaker. And that's 100% correct. Another candidate for Noam Dar.
Overhyped.
Yeah, but honestly, a fatal 4-way with Zilla in there to me is more interesting than a triple threat with Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana. So I'm not going to complain about the result that we foresaw. I just think it's a little bit silly, but I guess when you're a Fatu and you've got the bloodline behind you, you can call your shot early.
By the way, how are we not going to talk about that line that Grayson Waller threw out? No
Which
longer
one?
have the ankle monitor. Oh shit!
Did Zilla do time?
I think he had an issue. Yeah, he have had some law issues.
I mean, I know Jacob did some time, like, forever ago. They're acting like it was 2 weeks ago, as if he wasn't in MLW for 5 years. But I knew Zilla had issues, but I thought he had didn't get along with people issues. Like, it was sort of a prima donna, like he didn't always get along with Booker. Although they hugged
question.
out.
I want to know this one. Do you think he helps out and pays his dues and set up the ring and chairs when he was on the independent scene?
Zilla?
That's an interesting question.
Okay. I don't know anything about him more than what I just said. What I do know about Jacob Fatu is that he's exactly the opposite in real life as he is on TV, that he's demure and respectful and like the kindest person. So I'm going to think absolutely yes, especially with all his doing in the indies. Now, of course, I don't think he does it at NXT because it's already set up.
Oh, no.
And he's not going to be doing it because they have staff to do it. But yes, I do believe that he did everything that he was supposed to do. But I'm basing that on absolutely nothing. But you think at this point, if somebody wanted to tar and feather him, they would, unless they just got terrified by, the blowback to Eric Cannon, who pretends he doesn't care and lives by what he says. But I mean, Eric Cannon, like, in a week, I'll forget your name, and so will everybody else. No disrespect. It's just real.
When we get the 4-way announced, I said, "Hey, no way in hell." Even in a triple threat, Tony D'Angelo is leaving with that title.
I think there's no way he's leaving with that title.
No.
Yeah, I don't think there's a chance. This is the perfect way to protect everybody and anybody, except for the Pin Eater. Frankly, the Pin Eater can be anybody, but of course, it's Grayson Waller because he sucks. So
could be your boy Grayson Waller.
That's right.
Or you know what, the total FU and make everybody pissed off is Grayson Waller becomes your NXT champion in that fatal 4-way where someone hits I already know. I already could feel the finish. I could feel the finish. We're thinking Cruz has got the spring your block ready for the victory, and then he gets thrown. Zilla hits with the Samoan spike, and Waller throws him out the ropes, and he gets the pin, and he beats Tony D'Angelo. That's the pin. It's going to be the same thing as Slammiversary of last year. I could see it, I could feel it, and you book it.
Could be. Could very well be. I don't want that, obviously. I think what would be great is if
I don't want to pay property taxes, but I have to.
You know what the best work would be is if the New Day came out and they beat up Grayson Waller.
No, they're debuting tomorrow night. Oh, you know that for before All In, and yeah, they're debuting. Oh no, they got to steal the spotlight. From Zilla Fatu showing up at WWE. Oh, hold my beer. We got to give you the New Day.
Listen, me? I want what I want. If it's not then maybe the Austin Theory and Logan Paul and that crew they can Grayson Waller and say you sucked, you were dead weight, and you're such dead weight that I'm tired of hearing about you talking about me and my new crew, which is much better than you.
Maybe they go on and beat up Grayson Waller in NXT, and maybe Grayson gets a tag team partner, Cam Hendricks. Imagine that, Logan Paul. What you call it? Austin Theory, Braun Breaker versus Cam Hendricks and Grayson Waller.
Or maybe get
Maxine in the corner,
tag team partner in Australia, and he has to fly back to West Sydney, and he stays there.
Well, there is an Australian looking about to get rehab. And he lost about 50 pounds.
Okay, well that's fine. I guess you're talking about Buddy Matthews, of course. But,
Yes, Buddy Matthews.
All right. So the Grayson Waller effect for me is dread and loathing.
I'm enjoying it. Give me more. He's gonna be your NXT champion on the 30th, and I'm gonna be here to enjoy it. Even though I want my guy Cruz to win, but I'm gonna be here to enjoy it.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see it. I could see it drawn up exactly the way you did it, or some semblance of that. But
And
whatever
clip
it
it.
is, yeah,
Clip it. Yeah. Guys clip a lot of different things. Clip it.
yeah. Somebody's gonna be an opportunist, that's for sure. And Grayson Waller certainly has that character down to the extent he has any character whatsoever. That said, if anybody there is listening to me, and clearly you're not because you keep doing the Robert Stone backward stipulations and some other weirdo stuff, and Narako hasn't been shipped back to Japan, et cetera, so you're not listening to me. But buy Narako and Grayson both tickets to Japan. Grayson can connect and go to Australia if he likes. Maybe not. Maybe the Yakuza will just kill him. It's fine. Nobody cares. And
what color is the Down Under mist?
it's whatever color koala chlamydia is. So it's marsupial. I'm pretty sure it's a color. It's made with koala chlamydia and echidna eggs. There's definitely that. Wait, what's this here? I gotta.
Bro, what the hell? You're attacking two of her favorites. It's Naratu and Grayson Waller. Marie Shadow loved those two.
I am telling you, when I see Naraku's silhouette, I think it's Zarya, and then I see him, I go, oh, it's a wimpy version of Zarya.
Oh damn, man, you're rough tonight with it.
Naraku, that poor woman. Poor thing.
Well, only thing I'm concerned. Hopefully he don't. Hopefully he doesn't disappoint EO and sprays better.
Whatever. Apparently he's not part of Nakamura's diabolical plan.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I meant to say that, and when I put that in my notes, well, I guess we're not seeing him on SmackDown.
Not yet, anyway. I mean, I guess Nakamura can bring his crew in slowly. But the problem with Nakamura is when he does things slowly, they tend to forget Nakamura exists, and he makes it to the editing floor. So I honest to God, I was never a Nakamura fan. I don't watch New Japan, so I didn't. I liked the song was cool, but it didn't fit him. I thought that he dressed like a figure skater Kane, which is not a compliment. He's a weird looking dude. He's got a bad body. I have no idea how he's maintained this job for 12 years. I mean, kudos to him for stealing money all this time. Good for him. I mean,
you don't want to see at War Games, MFTs. They bring back the other Tongan and against the CSC, the Chopstick crew.
No, I do not. And did they even use chopsticks in Japan? Is that a Japanese thing? It's a Chinese thing. I know that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know any of these things. No, I don't.
That's a good garden of thoughts. Do they eat with the Japanese? Do they eat with chopsticks or what?
I don't think it's really a good garden of thought. The answer is either going to be yes or no. I mean, the end.
Why?
Thanks for coming, everybody. Yeah, welcome to the Garden of Thought. So that's the review. I'm not loving what's going on in the main event, but I do think more people in the mix is good. I still find Keanu interesting. I still find Cam Hendricks interesting. No Mason Rook, so that's a plus. There were some sort of.
He was working McDonald's shift.
That's exactly right. There were certain segments that were weird, and some of them worked, and some of them didn't. But basically NXT was fun. It's just not as easy to digest. Like NXT is usually delightful because it's easy to digest, and these backward stipulations and all these forced stipulations and sort of weirdness just seemed a bit unnecessary. Just from the beginning where Zilla's not there, okay, that's fine. But then Fenix needs to talk to Santana. I mean, it would have been better if it was
just to pop the crowd. That's all it was.
Except Fenix doesn't pop crowds. That's the thing, though.
But those fans that are sitting there, ooh, somebody from the main roster, they lose their shit. They could put Tazira Tazawa could come out there next Tuesday, and they'll lose their shit. They just know they like when main roster wrestlers show up. They go there. If the higher of the totem pole of the main roster, the more moisture from the NXT crowd.
Oh yeah, that was my Otis. So yeah.
Oh man, you should see the place. They needed. That's how they got the sponsorship for Dude Wipes. The time when the Bloodline came out with Jacob Fatu, that place. I mean, my goodness, they instantly knew they needed Dude Wipes. They got the sponsorship immediately with the WWE because there was a need for the people in the Performance Center after they saw that man. They saw those guys come out.
I understand. Listen, Dude Wipes is a wonderful product.
Yes, don't forget, use our promo code. Yeah, we want to give our shout out to our sponsor. You text the all in capital letters do save 20 to 59463. We'll send you a coupon for 20% off and save on all the Dude Wipe products. That is not a joke. That is our sponsor of the Sports Jedi Media, Sports Jedi Network. Thank you. We've been with them for over a year, before the WWE, before TNA. So appreciate the Dude Wipes company to being a sponsor.
I'm getting chastised again. She says, "Leave Grayson and Evil alone." I am evil. What are you talking about? Who's this evil character she's talking about? I'm evil. It says so right there.
You're dos. You're double.
Yeah.
So what kind of mist you're throwing there? Is it kosher?
I mean, no, man. I'm using some venom. I'm gonna mix up some paralytic plants. I'm going to use some snake venom that kills. Whatever was in that manta ray's tail that killed Steve Irvin. Whatever it is, I'm going.
Don't just have an open sore. You're screwed if that gets in your blood system.
I'm the one dispensing it. Nothing's going to backtrack on me. Believe me. Listen. I'm going to be the Paul Heyman of the shit. Nothing's going to hit me.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Remember our talk earlier with Sabrina Estelle? I mean, she's like, you want to be a heater? I'm like, I don't want to be a heater. I can't be a heater. I could be a speed bump at the most, but I can be the manager. I can be the agent provocateur. I can get in the way. But the heater, that's what my best friend Mr. Thomas is for. He's a heater.
You really need to bring the heat if you want to defrost that ice cold. That ice.
Well, it depends what your motive is. I mean, just want to help her keep a championship, then it's fine. If you're trying to woo her, I'm the wrong guy. I'm like probably her grandfather's age. So and amongst other reasons.
No, I thought about heater to the crowd.
Oh, to the crowd.
No.
You think the crowd's going to be ice cold? No, the crowd's going to love me. They're going to. I mean, when Mr. Thomas comes in, the star power. What are you kidding me? The crowd's going to go crazy. They're going to be going yelling, "Booma yay, booma yay, booma yay."
I thought they were going to say Lippman's best friend. I thought they were going to say Lippman's best friend.
That's right. The Champ Lippman, Evil's best friend. Evil's best friend. And I can't wait till Mr. Thomas and Luke Menzies become, almost best friends, and the three of us walk together, all holding hands, me in the middle, of course.
Yes. Shout out to Luke Menzies. He's putting out videos, him working out, looking great, looking phenomenal, and also kind of missing a little bit of the NXT. He posted a picture of him in his Chase U days taking a Spanish fly from Axiom off the top rope. So shout out Luke Menzies.
You know what I would like him to post a video of? Him doing podcasts and interviewing the people that he's met and worked with and talked to on the British scene and posting them to this very network, or talking about. So that's what I would love to see. That's what the audience would love to see. And yes, but it's a false choice. He can do that and his regular social media. In fact, he should.
We'll continue promoting it.
Yeah. I think that will be. I think people would love to see him, work in the indies. Hey, and if you weren't doing it before, Luke, make sure they catch photos of you in Totally Candid's setting up the chairs and cleaning up and doing ring stuff. So nobody can claim that you're a spoiled guy from WWE. So even if you're not usually asked to do that, just it's all PR. Anyway, this show. Okay, yeah, I mean we're working our way to Heatwave, building a good card this coming week. Despite whatever reservations I had. Somebody said hi. I'm new-ish to the network, so I don't know who that is, but
No, I'm new. What's going on? I'm here.
Yeah, well, welcome. Thank you. Hi to you too. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Our honest feedback and our takes. NXT is generally my favorite wrestling show of the week. I must say, I'm not sure it's been living quite up to it lately, but that's okay because it's still in the top 3 easily, and it's definitely my favorite main roster. It's basically my favorite WWE product. I probably would like AAA if I was more invested in more of the people there, but I'm just not. But AAA is a very easy watch, but it's an hour. It's easy, It's easy to do. Plus, I mean, Lady Shani and Las Toxicas. I mean, listen, not that there's people on NXT that don't make me go too. There certainly are, but I don't know. This Lady Shani, I don't know. And Las Toxicas, I mean, everyone gets up, but this thing with Lady Shani, I can't even explain it. It's just I feel like I'm Kirk. Like
It's that corn. It's that Mexican corn. Does a body good.
I feel like I'm Captain Kirk. I'm on another planet. This is my belly dancer, and obviously we're destined to be together in some space crystal red cave, and it's going to be beautiful until everyone tries to kill me. Like Bond, after the space sexing down happens. So everyone, pro space sexing down with consent, of course. Her and her friends trying to kill me afterwards, I don't think negates consent at the outset. If anything, I was the one that was victimized. So, don't come at me, you millennials and others.
Okay. This was a good episode. Decent enough because I want to tune into next week. The build, it was confusing. Yes, we broke down why it was feel confusing because it felt like it was being repetitive, but we kind of told you why we're seeing that. They want to bring as many different people on that card. What's going on? Rave Dragon, salute, man. Yesterday's ending Raw was awesome. A lot of people didn't like that. We'll definitely on Saturday with myself, Chris, and Hoss Knucklebrew will be talking about that on that Raw. I didn't have no problem with that, but I'll definitely give our thoughts on Saturday at 1 Eastern time with the guys. We'll definitely break that down. And a lot to say. Trust me, we would love to do Monday Night Raw reaction afterwards, but we get up early. I got to get up in a couple hours. So
I don't watch Raw, but isn't this week Sunday night's main event?
No, that's about a month or the beginning of September. By the way, interesting note, Monday Night Raw this Monday will be at 6 p.m. early start because they're in Ottawa.
Yeah, they're in Western Canada.
They're in Western Canada.
Yeah, I think they're even further than Ottawa. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I don't watch the main roster, but I do watch the PLEs. What's going on, Rabbit? I'm doing okay. Man. I'm doing okay. Thanks for checking in. How are you? And I find that I enjoy the PLEs and the Saturday Night's main event much more without having to watch the main roster. And you don't need to watch the main roster because they give you so many recaps between the pre-shows and during the show. You don't miss a thing, which, I mean, I will argue that's part of the reason why viewership is down. I mean, the main reason viewership is down, going back 20 years is UFC. I mean, when people could watch real fighting on TV, fake fighting sort of lost a bunch of its audience. And
the way, and you said you don't really have to, with the way people have short attention span, you just watch the clips and you could get up to everything in 20 to 10 minutes. That's why you see when they do the online clips have more viewers than the actual television show, because people are going to consume it that way.
Ravage Dragon, I know exactly who you are, my man. I only know one Ravage, and you coming in right after the Squared Circle podcast allowed even this dim-witted detective to riddle that out. So I had thought that you were the right person. I could have been wrong about that, but that, I was assuming that was in fact you. But yeah, no, I did not forget. Not me. Not that sort of fella. Except at cocktail parties where I'm supposed to remember people. Okay, well, listen, I think we covered the song, the show, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Next week is definitely something I'm looking forward to. Heatwave is definitely something I'm looking forward to. I am optimistic about Deion Lennox and Saquon Sugars putting on a good match. And however we got here, and I just hope that they stop with the backward stipulations, because PLEs are usually a reset, and hopefully they can reset off of this thing. We are both not opposed to there being a different general manager. I think Robert Stone has sort of done his part and taken this role as far as he can take it, and it's not all that far. Honestly, if somebody's not working out on the main roster, I mean, I think Noam Dar has a personality. He could do it. I think that there's, Adriana Rizzo could have a personality and do it. Stevie Turner, if they brought her back, she was doing a fine job on Evolve. Giovanna Capri, I think would be fun. Ariana Grace would be fun.
Bring back Santino.
I don't need Santino. I'm all set with Santino. But I mean, but just because I'm not for it doesn't mean people don't agree with you on that. And there's others who I think would be more fun. I'd want to see Triple H also. You should be the next GM. Maybe you should be the next GM. You should be the real GM. Actually booking things on camera. If you want to be, hey, go for it, man. That would be fun. That'd be great. Now we'd have some real insider information. I'm trying to think of who else might have like a decent personality for it, and like Kiana James, who isn't doing much on the main roster, but her like gimmick in NXT was like she was the savvy businesswoman. Let's see her be the power person, again. I don't know. I don't think it's really a downgrade, even if it's NXT, if you are now the star of the show.
That's true. I mean, it's working for, look at Daria over there at TNA, formerly known as Sonya Deville. She did that role. Fits her well.
For the 10 weeks I could put up with TNA. So.
Well, that was the NXT Padawan podcast, the Padawan Awakening podcast on another Tuesday of NXT live post show. So if you're hearing us on the audio platform, please hit that like or the 5-star review anywhere on YouTube or all our different platforms, wherever you can hit a like. Feedback always helps us grow, or tell us what you like, what you didn't like, so we could either make the arrangements or make the correction or continue elevating or escalating. So really appreciate that. Those people that are watching us on this late at this hour of the night, thank you. Those that are going to watch us in replay, appreciate you guys. Don't forget, we are always live here. Now you can say we have always a live show each and every day. Don't forget, tomorrow will be the Dynamite Bros All Elite Wrestling. They get ready for All In, the return of PGH Chris from vacation, Hoss Knucklebrew. Then, of course, Thursday nights, you got the Evolve Effect and the PWF with the Evolve breakdown. So number 1, number 2, top Evolve podcast. And of course, we got some Garden of Thoughts. We got the Art of Character podcast tomorrow. Of course, we got these very special Prestige Roundtable. These guys are going to break it down with Mr. Thomas and a couple of guests. I can't wait to hear them break all the good news. And then we got a new program, of course. We're going to start this, the TNA. It's the Sports Jedi, the Total Nonstop Jedis. We're going to be covering TNA after Friday nights. Only when TNA is live on Thursday nights, we'll be going live. Chris will be going live immediately after TNA, after their live shows. But when they're recorded or pre-recorded, predetermined, or taped, we will come on Fridays, 2:00. We were doing the total nonstop Jedis, and of course our weekly wrestling on Saturdays. The Garden of Thoughts on Sundays got an interesting guest, and of course we got also TNA Lockdown. We got the review show with the Megamed podcast in the evening at 7. Also the PWF Saturday nights, and of course we immediately after TNA Lockdown, we're gonna have the post-show recap. So don't forget, don't go anywhere. So on Sunday, where TNA will be coming in at 3:00 in the afternoon, I believe start time or 5. That starts at 5. And when it's immediately it's over, we'll come on for the recap show. So we got a lot busy week always on the Sports Jedi Media. Over 200 on our second channel, over 200 plus subscribers in less than a month. That's a good job there. Thank you for everybody that's joining us and watching us, growing. But we need to get back to our main channel where we're almost at 20,000. We were at 20, but people, as they less content or the less activity, people think that the channel is dead. That's up to Google and YouTube. We've been trying to work with you and ask you to please help us get our channel back, and all they're doing is fumbling and making us go in circles. So if you want to help us out at Google or at YouTube, on X, get the Sports Jedi Network back up. Hey, they hacked our email, they hacked our channel, and we can't get back in, and we can't get any cooperation from Google or YouTube. You know, that's very frustrating.
Of you subscribe to the Sports Jedi Media Network on YouTube, and then we won't need that old one any longer. But but just subscribe wherever you can, as many places as you can, and the audios hit your notifications so you never miss anything, because we have all sorts of content both in sports and wrestling and entertainment. So we're covering all of those things now, and we seem to be picking up new content all the time, including a collab with the aforesaid Marie Shadows of the Square Circle podcast. There's going to be some New Japan coverage here. Hoss is going to be her Padawan, learning about. She's going to be the sensei and teaching him a little bit about New Japan, and he's going to take that journey with her. So that'll be exciting. And who knows what other things will happen and where things will take us.
We might get some spooky score. We might get some spooky stories.
I sure hope so. I think that I think that would be great, but I don't want to.
You never know.
I don't want to tease anything or spoil anything.
No.
Especially if it doesn't happen. But yeah, there's always irons in the fire. Most of them turn to nothing, but some of them spark, and that's what we. That's sort of what Kevin made me make one promise to me. He said, "Just make content." And I said, I'll make content, don't worry. But what he didn't know, but what I did tell him is that, like, I sort of feed off momentum and energy and projects, and I sort of never stop, especially if I have help, and they've been nothing but helpful. And so content you're getting, collab efforts you're getting, things that I'm working on, hopefully you'll get. If you get a third of them, everyone here will be happy.
There you go. So with that, we want to say have a wonderful night. Get home safe if you're driving, if you're listening to us, or if you're listening to us on the road. Get safe, be well. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday into Wednesday evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow and beyond. So may the sports be with you. Buenas noches a todos. Que Dios lo bendiga.
It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all guys. Y'all are awesome.